Richard, let's start with the internationals. Obviously, Ross Moriarty's been named in the Wales team today to face Scotland. Presumably, great news for him.
Yeah, outstanding. It's pleasing that he's been able to come back over the last few weeks, put a couple of good performances together. He's obviously gone well in their training camp over the last 2 weeks, and for any team to have a British line available, he's come back and he'll be a force for Wales over the Six Nations.
Obviously, we're not privy to what's going on in those Welsh training camps, but a bit of a sense that Owen Williams might have been a bit unlucky, bearing in mind no Dan Biggar, no Rhys Priestland.
Yeah, it's a shame for him, but I suppose again it shows the strength that's in all these international squads, and he's been unlucky at this point, but he's just got to come back, knuckle down, and when he gets back into camp with those guys, put his best foot forward. But that Scarlet team is obviously performing very well, and Rhys Priestland's obviously Rhys Patchell's obviously got the jump, possibly because of that.
And when people like Owen come back to Gloucester, and obviously Jake Pelledri as well got released last week, how do you have to sort of work out how you treat them here? Is it just business as normal? Yeah,
I think they want to get back, and they want to get back training, they want to get back playing. I think it's probably a little bit different for Jake with it all being a little bit new, and it was a new experience for him, and he's kind of just chomping at the bit to get back and get back playing. Owen's a little bit more experience with that autumn internationals, obviously in November. So for him, I think again it's about being able to prove to Warren when he gets an opportunity in Gloucester shirt that he can do exactly what he did in the autumn.
What it does mean, though, is you've got the vast majority of the squad around, and unusual to have so many players around for this stage of the season, for any club, frankly.
Yeah, exactly. I said obviously at the back of the Ospreys game, you've got to give credit to our S&C and our medical department for getting everyone back fit and fighting to go, and it gives the management massive scope to be able to pick a number of different teams and pick players for certain matches. So I think we're going to have strong teams over the next few weeks because of the personnel that are available.
And what it allows you to do again is put out a stronger side as you want to up at Newcastle. You achieved the mission of last week of take it into the final week. You just a point behind Bath. So how do you view it going into the final round of matches?
It's obviously not in our hands. So Bath play Friday night, and we'll wait and see what that result is. But for us, we haven't really focused about the pool or results. We've spoken about performance and building from the Ospreys week and improving some of the things that were slightly off and that we adapted well in the game, and really trying to go up to Newcastle, which is a tough place to go, put on a good performance, hopefully get the win and see where that puts us after Friday's night result.
And can Gloucester sort of take anything from the run of away games that you were having earlier on in the season? Because there was that little groove that Gloucester got into, and then sort of things have not gone brilliantly at home more than anything else, but you sort of seem to put that right against Ospreys, particularly in the second half, and presumably that gives you plenty to work with.
Yeah, massively. You only have to look back a couple of months ago when we went up to Newcastle and put probably one of the best performances we had all year up there, and it was off the back of an outstanding defensive performance. So Dinger has certainly been speaking to the crew this week about being able to replicate that and better it, and put in the Newcastle boys who we know want to play a nice wide expansive brand of rugby under pressure, and then when we get the ball we know we're a threat with ball in hand, and it's about us making good decisions to keep hold of the ball just a little bit longer. I think we've probably been relieving the pressure valve a little bit on teams, and that's been our focus, and it was our focus against Ospreys, and it'll be our focus against Newcastle, really being able to put teams under pressure for a little bit longer.
What is it that allows players to do that? Is it just confidence? Is it belief, experience maybe? Yeah,
a little bit of both, or all mixed together. We want guys to try things and execute things that they see, but then there's also a responsibility to respect the ball. And like you say, we know that if we take teams through multi-phase, we've got enough power athletes and guys with X factor and ability in our structures and framework to be able to break teams down. So we just want to make sure that we're making the opposition work as hard as possible, really.
Obviously they've got all the home advantages up there, they'll know about the weather, but the pitch in some ways, although playing on an artificial surface used to be seen as a disadvantage for Gloucester, in some ways is that a leveller because that's actually a constant now.
Yeah, everyone's used to it. You're playing on 3 or 4 a year and training on them in the winter months anyway. So, we're certainly preparing for that. We know that whatever the weather, at least it's going to be a good track, good hard fast surface, and that excites me as a coach and excites us as a team, because we know we can move the ball and be a threat with it. And so guarantee of underfoot surface is key for us.
And Newcastle potentially still not out of it either. So actually the fact that they've got something to play for as well, how does that affect the dynamic of the game for you?
Oh, I think it makes it almost a winner take all. Both teams will be trying to win the game as everyone always does, and it may well change a few things towards the back end of the game if there's bonus points needed or whatnot. But it certainly doesn't change it from the start. Both teams will be going out there to get the win.
Is it still as hard a job as the last couple of weeks of finding an injured player around here? I mean, have you still got the vast majority of the squad to work with?
Yeah, we're incredibly lucky. It's unheard of really over the last few years, and especially from the position that we were in at the beginning of the season to where we are now, and it just breeds a massive amount of our training sessions have got so much more talent and ability just through the numbers of players that we've got. So again, you got to give credit to the medical and S&C team to be able to put that amount of players available.
And then with selection, how do you look at it? Do you go horses for courses? Do you go simply your best 15? Do you look at combinations? What sort of things will influence which 15 and which 23 you actually go with?
It's been a little bit over the last couple of weeks, so everyone's wants to be able to put their hand up. So different guys will get opportunities this week to work themselves into that team for Leicester and the 4-week Premiership block. And Johan spoke about that a couple of weeks ago, and the selection will highlight ability and giving guys opportunities.